Anyway, but like for some reason with like Gen Zers, it's like 2000 something or around. Well, after that to like 2015 is what they consider. I was like, how do you determine this stuff? Anyway, so that technically means that like you're with the same generation apparently if you were born in like 2000 as someone who was born in 2015 or something.
That you're what?
If you were born in like, you know, whatever the year after, you know, what's considered millennial, the youngest, you know, millennial, you're apparently a Gen Zer up until if you were born in like 2015 or something like that. It's something about that, that's kind of a long, you know. But anyway. Yeah, so apparently, like, Gen Zers take things too seriously with that stuff, and I'm like, why are we even having this argument in the first place? We're all just a bunch of dumb kids. Even when we're 60, we're gonna be dumb kids, I don't know. I mean, we know for sure that there are a lot of dumb people in our generation. All I can say as Gen Zers is that please improve upon where we haven't, you know. As a whole, I say we, you know.
I like how there's a meme where people are making Spotify playlists that are just like a sentence made from song titles.
See.
Or the other one, other Spotify meme is the one where, like, this is one's like songs for when I'm eating gemstones in a museum gift shop.
Shoot. No, don't peck me. Bless you.
And there are 3 songs on it. There's a song called Mouthful of Precious Stones by some band called The Red Coat. There's I Put All These Rocks in My Mouth by some band called North Cole.
Yeah.
And there's one called I Should Stop Eating Stones by Uti Skulf.
By the way, in this session we're going to be playing through to, what's his name? Entropy. So you're going to be doing the underwater, you're going to be doing the underwater, you're going to be doing the underwater level, you're going to be doing, this is illegal, you can't do it this way. That was kind of interesting that you were given a choice of which levels in the current level, or in the current world you could do. I mean, you could also do it in Spyro, but like...
You do it in Crash 2.
You could do it in Crash 2 and 3 and Wrath of Cortex. But like, for some reason... Well, okay, I understand why they have more of a straight path in Crash 4.
Yeah, that is weird. Why is there a straight path in Crash 4?
Well, also, I mean, look how many levels are in some of the worlds. There's usually only like 3 or 4. Well, if you don't include the side levels with the other characters,
Or the flashback tapes.
or the flashback tapes, then like each. Well, I'm talking about each world at least. There's like. That's the way that looked. Oh yeah, I know why I did it like that. It was just funny. It's funny. Hey man, it's funny.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny actually.
Uh-huh.
I forgot, this is the skull one, if you do it here, I have to restart the level, right?
If you die.
No, like, the skull one, if I do it...
You have a double hit.
I don't have to go back in the level to get the crystal.
No, I don't think you have to,
Because, like, some bonus areas in the level, and some don't.
Oh yeah. Okay, well here's the thing. Here's a little thing. I think even the developers intended. If you want to get everything and also get the bonus gem, You have to, you can kill yourself after getting the gem that, you know, on the pathway. Now, if there's boxes there, that makes things complicated. Actually, I think that was more of an issue in 2. I think this one, it wasn't as bad of an issue when it came to that stuff.
Oh, that's balls.
Actually, that was crash falling. That's one thing I'll give some of the newer games and also the Insane trilogies. I think they did it this way. If you completed if you go into the bonus round, that is basically a checkpoint. I forgot that it wasn't that way in the older games or the older versions of the games.
Yeah, but the older versions of the games, I do know that like if you keep messing up, it will make it'll turn a box into a checkpoint in some cases.
Apparently, that's the case. Also, in some of these games, or at least maybe this one.
That's what I mean. In this one, that's the case.
Yeah. Which we didn't know because while we were kind of bad as kids, we weren't that bad.
I don't know. I noticed as a kid. Until I knew that.
I learned about it later on because I was too good at the game to not lose that many lives. I only knew that you would eventually get a mask and then eventually a gold mask if you kept dying. But other than that, I didn't know about later boxes becoming checkpoints. I do remember seeing the game over screen, but that was also before I started collecting more boxes to get more fruit, to get more lives, to get more through the Also took me a while to realize I was
Jupiter to get more stupider.
Whoa.
That's what girls do. Girls are icky. Girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Let's take that way too seriously and actually get mad about it.
Boys go to Venus to get more stupider. Girls go to Uranus to get more smarter.
Yeah. Anyway, so the swimming level, when you're in deep trouble, I don't know.
So, you pesky little rats aren't going to back off, eh? Just to continue
With my soupials.
and see what I do.
What about there was like a Crash 2 E3 promo or some kind of promo where he was like speaking Australian, but like it was so weird looking because it it was that early CG and stuff, so it was just, you know. But also VeggieTales had early CG and they pulled it off pretty well. And you know, that was like a lower budget, you know, probably more church funded thing. You know? VeggieTales, how they were able to pull off early
90s animation.
Yeah, pretty well. Early 90s 3D animation.
Right.
I mean, part of it was that none of them really had limbs, except for that one.
That definitely made it a lot easier.
Yeah, and
how are we clapping?
I have no idea.
meow. It's kind of funny how they tried to. Apparently, there was a person who tried to say that VeggieTales was racist in one episode, or was racist at some point, with nothing backing their claim, of course. But there was actually an episode that sort of addressed racism without like calling it that.
What show?
And VeggieTales. But like it was an early episode. I remember us watching, and I didn't know it was addressing.
I don't remember that one.
I think it was the one where it was kind of a parody of Star Trek.
Oh gosh, that's very great.
Yeah.
Wasn't Junior in that one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Called up on the ship.
Yeah, and like.
Wait, who was scared of who, or who was racist against who?
Well, they were talking about people who was doing stuff differently, and you know,
Oh yeah.
And then like they were able to tie it to a Bible thing. I mean, that was a lot of the message of the show was, you know, stuff from the Bible. That'd be the point of the show. But also, it's very entertaining. Obviously more for kids, but you know. Hey, look, I'm a merry-go-round. So I remember the interview, if you remember that interview with Tom Kenny and Bill, what's his name? Voices of SpongeBob and Patrick. Where they were saying how, I think they're saying they don't have any social media. I've never seen Bill's social media, but I actually remember seeing Tom Kenny had a Twitter account or some Twitter or Instagram or something, but he only used it like looks like he only used it like a couple of times, and then that was it. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about going back there right now anyway. We're not doing a 100 and whatever percent playthrough of this. We're not doing a completionist playthrough. A completionist playthrough. Here you go. Oh. So Crash is ready. As in 14. You're going to 14, Andrew. There's a 14 there.
I forgot. I was pretty well committed in the jump when you started saying something.
Double header. Now those guys baller. Oh, you can bounce on those guys. Doesn't do it. Doesn't do anything. It just it doesn't do anything.
I preferred how the guys looked in this one as opposed to in the same trilogy.
Okay, Sylvester. He's like, we're gonna have this open now.
See, I actually preferred how they had the freaking giant club instead of turkey legs or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why. There were some changes where it's just like, what was the reason? I think whenever
I remember the bodies hang around like that.
This was an E-rated game. Well, what about how like, you know, changes in certain games and stuff? It's like now what's you know, like the Mega Man X games, they got away with E rating back in like the early to mid 2000s. And I mean also in the 90s, but you know, like mostly like when Mega Man X5 came out, that was like 2001 or something, and
I was going to talk about how Mega Man X or Mega Man Zero is so depressing.
Oh yeah, and it had an E rating, and now it has now those games have T ratings.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Like when they were, remember the re-released ones?
On the Switch?
Yeah, on the Switch and Xbox and PS4 and stuff.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, those are all T-rated now.
To be honest, after the PS2 or probably after PS3 generation, I just gave up looking at game ratings because I was on a couple years into the PS3 and stuff generation. I was an adult, so like game ratings didn't matter anymore.
Well, yeah. Well, here's what I'm thinking. Like, cause there seems to have been a change with that during the 2010s because
I don't even notice game ratings.
Because whenever Mega Man Zero Collection came out on DS, whenever it did, wasn't it like 2010 or something, or was it like 07?
I had, or maybe still have it. I don't remember.
It had an E rating, but then like when all those games were re-released on Switch and stuff, they got T ratings. Because they're cowards, that wasn't.
So what about the Brutal Moose?
What about the box?
That bunny video?
Oh yeah.
Balls.
There was a TNT there.
I just think he's like, is he when he's with the grandma, and he says, and maybe he throws them into the fire.
What was I gonna say? There was like a recent video he had where he kept playing the clip where the guy says like, "I'm a pop star."
Let's want to get back to his PC game reviews. I wasn't even a PC gamer growing up, but I still like the reviews.
Well, yeah, but like, it's because he found a whole lot of success with his food reviews.
Makes no sense. Like, the first few were funny, but I just got tired of them.
Well, it seems like there's a few YouTubers that have kind of lost their I mean, like, Brutal Moose isn't bad now, just, you know.
I like I forgot which food review it was. It was one of his early ones where, like, he would eat and it would show close up on his face, and as he'd be crunching, you'd hear or see people running away in Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like that's funny.
Yeah.
That's how you keep a review funny. Or a food review.
Yeah?
What was that?
Our cat is in here. Our cat. So, like... Yeah. I do like how in,
I'm not always as bad at this game.
Do what?
I said I am not always as bad at this game.
Well, since this is being captured and no other time it's been captured where you're good at it, then you're just lying on it. Anyway, what was I gonna say? A member you have of Double Jump. I like the idea of what Crash from Insanity was going for. It was just a very unfinished game. Like, when you really look at...
Crash from Insanity, the only thing that did finish was the darn music.
I finished the music and the humor, but that's about it.
Nina, you're such a skank.
Okay, that was Crash of the Titans.
You're a skank. I'm just so proud of you right now.
That's what you have poor moms saying to their stripper daughters, what?
Okay, there is a certain delay going on here. I know I pressed square in time.
Hold on just a minute.
You know, I haven't played a game on a CRT television in at least a decade now. And I kind of want to see if the old experience still holds up. Because some people have, like, sort of buying up old CRTs.
There is a certain, like, some games really are more meant for TVs like that.
I'll probably try a Nintendo game on it.
On Nintendo?
Yeah, I want to try a Nintendo game.
I just like how on AVGN, like I mean, it's just his accent, but he sometimes they go Super Nintendo.
Who does that?
The James Rolfe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's true. It's a Super Nintendo.
Let's see.
Well, you've crashed a few parties before, but I never expected you to make it this far. If you don't turn back, I will inflict 1,000 years of suffering on you and the entire universe!
Okay, Mr. Krabs. That is the same guy who talks for him in this one. But then, like in Crash Team Racing, voiced by the same guy, they didn't add that, you know, deep, they didn't add the deeper voice to him, or I mean, you know, so they kind of did that for CTR Nitro Fuel as well. I guess because they were trying to have a callback to that. So by the way, we're not going to do it in this playthrough, but hit that alien sign if you play it. If you haven't played it before, hit that alien sign to get a bonus level. Anyway, if you run into it. Anyway, let's see. So, if you haven't watched Born Losers Gaming yet, you should, because they're pretty funny. Because like, now I don't know how it's gonna be if they ever get so popular. They're gonna have over 1 million subscribers and get, you know, deals on movies and stuff. But but like, they don't seem big enough to really act like, well, shoot, we can just we know everything about politics now, you know, that kind of thing. and they're usually don't know a clue. They don't have a clue what they're talking about usually, but when they get that way, or when you know, YouTubers and I mean, like most YouTubers. So that's why sometimes I dread doing. This is why I dread doing like things like time trials. Is like when you fail and you have to start all over like that. When you have to start all over and it blocks progression, I hate stuff like that. Because while the level's really not as long as it feels like a long time. Because, like, you know, there's certain other types of levels where it's like, okay, you know, you just get through this, you're done. Or if you mess up, you can backtrack. Backtracking's not the biggest deal in the world. But when it comes to time trials and things like that, it's, you know, I wasn't doing a time trial, I was just stating a fact that anyone who says otherwise is actually false, but been a little more critical of games lately. I think it's because I'm just growing up and realizing things and knowing more how the world works. Yay! Okay then. I don't even remember hitting that box, but alright. So what's your word on that, Andrew? Huh? Oh. It's like that part of that pitch of the music that just got really high. You know, there were some levels that I never really paid attention to the fact that they were time traveling. Like, for some reason, that concept never really hit me. I mean, like, I knew there was, like, they went to dinosaur levels and stuff, but, like, I never really paid attention to the fact that this takes place in, like, the 50s and stuff. Well, also, I was a kid who didn't know much about the world, so, you know, at the time. But I still should have known. I was insensitive to not know. But like, I never paid attention to the fact that this wasn't modern day, you know, where they were at modern day desert. This was 50s desert, wherever this is supposed to take place.
With diners that have ginormous potholes at the info.
Yeah. Apparently, I only missed a few boxes. Unless I said 30. Unless it said 35, I only missed like a couple of boxes. All right, we're finishing off this playthrough with the fight of well, yeah, the session of Entropy, which in one universe apparently is a female, and then so what do you call the relationship between the female one and the male one?
Incest.
You little vermin are way too stupid to understand what you're getting yourselves into. This time you've done it.
Or like on Robot Chicken, when the guy was making out with a clone of himself, he says, "It's not gay, it's masturbation," or something like that. So I guess it's some weird, you know, masturbation.
You little skunk! Give me the crystals!
So this game is rated E. Do what?
So it makes you Bandicoot. It's a skunk, and I said it makes you Bandicoot.
Oh yeah.
I miss the old Crash Bandicoot commercials, man. Those were great.
With the guy in the crash suit. You
Yeah.
know what? You know what?
Especially the Pizza Hut ones.
Yeah. You know what should have been
What?
the last character to unlock in or to have in Crash Team Racing
What?
in Nitro Fuel. Like they should have added the guy who was in the crash suit as a character. Like,
I mean, but how would they really make it look all that different from?
well, he'd be a bit bigger to start with.
That's what you could see the guy's face though, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then yeah, then you could have done it.
Yeah.
That'd be great. You can use Oxide to do one, can't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and if you had pre-ordered the game, you got a code to unlock them early. As well as Crunch and like a Crunch costume thing. See, that was one of the good...
Sorry, it had to be British costume.
Costume? See, that was one of the good things that came out of Crash Wrath of Cortex.
What?
Was Crunch.
Costume.
Of course, you know, in the original games, like that one and like Nitro Kart, he was just, you know, he was just a tough guy, and then they eventually essentially made him Mr. T.
It took a little while until I realized what the poles are here in this one, and it's because he's like going through time and some of the different controller delay. Yeah, I'm playing with controllers. Screw you.
So basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that you suck because I haven't died on him in a long time.
Yeah, if only I was actually trying. If I was really trying, this would be an issue.
You have sweat all over the controller. See, look, they're giving sympathy. They're like pitying you because they gave you a straight line there.
You always get a straight line on the first one.
I didn't always see it that way. In this current playthrough, I didn't see it that way. Anyway,
I didn't think it was ever randomized.
it's sort of randomized, but it's not like there's not like a whole lot of options. See, like this is different from the previous one that you've done.
Yes, it is. I haven't noticed.
Yeah, I remember this was like the first time you see that death animation where it's like, and then like he just like explodes into pieces like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's intense. And then like in the future levels, that can happen to you.
What?
Yeah.
My time is up. But yours soon will be.
It's weird how it gets like that cartoon hand that pops out of it.
I know. Well, it looks like, I think that might be the clock though. Like the
no, but I mean, it looks like a Mickey Mouse.
I know.
Cartoon hand.
That's what we thought too. That's what I thought too. I mean.
For defeating entropy, you have placed us all in grave risk. Christ, Coco, you must realize that this time twister machine is very delicate. Without Dr. Entropy's constant care and control, who knows what it will do?
See, I never really paid attention to that. I was like, I never really thought of it as like being in peril of like, oh no, the creator is gone now, so he can't control this thing. Or, you know, it could become unstable. And it's just like, well, it's just kind of the same thing right now. Anyway, so we're going to end it right here. And I'm not going to save it just yet, just in case. But thanks for watching this playthrough. And next time we will probably finish the game, unless we have to cut it short for some reason. So anyway, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And just remember what Andrew tells you. So that's a good message to go off of.
Okay, so my message is C's get degrees.